Welcome back, everybody. This is Chris for Geek Tech Live. In this episode, we are going to talk about something that you just can't buy. It's something that you make. And it's from Adafruit, also at Maker's Shed, and it's called the Ice Tube Clock. I got this for Christmas. I've been asking for this for probably about 2 years. They've been sold out, and they have them back in stock. Let's talk a little bit about making your own clock. This is one of the coolest little gadgety things that I could possibly think of talking about or doing. I know I talk a lot about things that you can buy and do reviews about different gadgety things and some news every now and then, but I felt it needed to be talked about, and this is something I've been waiting to get my hands on for a long time. You might look online at adafruit.com or at makershed.com and say, wow, that's a huge clock, that's a big undertaking. Well, just so everybody knows, I am a big guy. I'm going to go ahead and hold this up for the camera here. As you can see, it's not a big clock. It's small. It's what you'd expect, I think, from a sort of a Maker's Shed-esque, circuit board, put it to yourself together sort of device, and I think it's really cool. I've been really sort of enamored by this ever since I saw it online about 2 years ago. It's a VHD display, and it has a sort of old Russian style tube clock look to it. And the greatest thing about it is the fact you put it together yourself. I'm sure you've seen numerous things on the internet at this point. Making your own stuff is definitely getting back into the swing of things and is definitely a more important part of being a geek or a nerd. And I've been away from it for a while only because I'm very picky about what I want to make and what I want to do. And this is probably one of the more difficult projects I've probably put together in my time. It's probably been a few years since I've actually had to break out the old soldering gun and try to do something like this. And I was a little worried that I might have maybe set my bar a little too high for the first time back in, if you will, into the pool. Rest assured that if I can actually put one of these together and make it work, I think everybody out there that listens to this show is able to do that as well. They're not that expensive, and for the price that you're paying for all of the parts, you're helping a small business out, which is fantastic, as well as making something cool for yourself. So I charge every one of you who are listening to me right now and watching this show on YouTube to go to adafruit.com and pick up one of these really cool ice tube clocks. I bought it basically for myself for a Christmas gift. Well, okay, I didn't buy it, but my wife bought it, but we pool all of our money. So it's basically the same thing. I got it for Christmas. It's a fantastic gift, and it only really took me about 4 hours to really put together. I'm going to be throwing up a whole bunch of B-roll footage so you can get a better glimpse at it to get as close as possible. I just can't, well, this is what happens when I zoom in on this lens. See? There you go. Look at that. Look at that clock. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? Well, yeah, no. See, it doesn't. So there's going to be a bunch of B-roll footage that's probably rolling right now, in fact. And at that point, you can take a little bit of a look-see on exactly the amount of intricate sort of circuitry that's part of this. There's really not a lot to really be worried about. It just takes a little bit of a little time and a little effort. Probably the most annoying part of it is some of the smaller wire work that you have to do to get it kind of to be put together. And again, big guy, big bear claw hands. If I can do it, pretty much anybody can do it. I'm not that good. I'm not an electrical engineer. I didn't go to school for it. Yeah, if I can do this, you can too. So let's talk a little bit about some of the basics behind this, because you're probably saying, great, so I can put this stuff together, but now what really, I mean, is it just a clock? Does it just count up? Does it just keep time? What the heck does it do? Well, duh, yeah, it's a clock. It does keep time. It also has an alarm, and time date set, so you can actually set the date on it as well. It has a battery backup, which has a little coin cell battery you can put in the bottom section here. And it's got the really cool, sort of Russian style tube display, which is again one of the things that sort of drew me in. In fact, on the back of my VHD little tube display, it actually does have a couple of Russian lettering and CCCP, in fact. So oddly enough, it is a Russian tube display after all. It has an alarm built in. It has a standard timer built in. The really kind of cool thing about this too is if you are an electrical engineer, or you know someone who is, or you just like to hack things, you can buy this, and there's multiple things you can do with this on top of it. There are these little jumpers that you can actually solder in, which I did on mine, and you can update the firmware of this to allow for a bunch of different things. For example, let's say you don't want to actually set the time via the little 3 buttons on the back, and you don't want to set the date either. Well, for an additional, I think, 20 bucks, you can buy a little GPS unit. And there are steps on Adafruit's website, as well as their forums, which have a fantastic amount of people that talk through any issues that you may have with it. But you can buy this little GPS unit, hook it right on up to this, and then hook it into the jumpers after you flash the chip, and it will actually set the time for you wherever you are. So there's a lot of really cool things, especially when you make your own devices. This was a really fun project. I can't talk really enough about it, but really, if you're gonna even find this somewhat interesting, go out, find this, buy it, put it together, and let me know, what do you think? I guess at the end of this show, I'm gonna go ahead and pose this to you guys. What do you think of this? Did you find this interesting? Did you get one of these and put it together yourself? If you did you have any problems? What are your thoughts on the Adafruit ice tube clock kit, I believe is the full real name of it. What do you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it just too difficult to put together? Was it too easy? Did I make it sound like it was some big sort of, crazy, expensive, hard to put together item, and it really ended up being sort of like a snap fit model? Let me know what you think, and hopefully you found this interesting. I know I really like talking about it. I've been waiting to talk about this for 2 years, and I have to say I'm really happy that I got my hands on this. So again, it's adafruit.com. The links are going to be in the lower thirds of this video thing, as well as in the YouTube little bar down below. Check them out. You won't be sorry. Adafruit.com and MakerShed both sell this. They both have them in stock as of today. They won't stay in stock for very long, and they make great gifts for people who like to put stuff together. So, the Ice Tube Clock Kit. Well, that's it for this episode of Geek Tech Live. We've been talking about the Ice Tube Clock. I can't stop talking enough about it. Unfortunately, it's too small to really just kind of show you on the screen. It's not really the easiest thing to show up there, but it's fantastic. It's cool. It's fun. It's a great conversation piece, whether you work with a desk or you just want to put it out in your garage, or you want to just put it, next to your computer when you're I don't know, playing World of Warcraft, or next to your Xbox, so you know how long you've been playing Call of Duty. Whatever it is that you want to do with this, it's a really fun project to put together, and it really, really, really is kind of neat when it's all set and done. So, again, my name is Chris for Geek Tech Live. I appreciate you all listening and watching the show. Check me on YouTube. I'm at Blip TV. I'm also at geektechlive.com. I'm on Twitter at Geek Tech Live, and I appreciate everybody who is getting me almost, we're hitting a new milestone for almost being a year at YouTube at this point, 50,000 views. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who's been actually watching the show. We're getting set to cross over that threshold of 50,000 views. I know it's not 10 billion, I'm sure it's not anything close to Justin Bieber, but for me, it's a big milestone, and I just wanted to say thank you. So until next time, we'll be talking about something also as cool.